Magic and inspiration. Into Ruselet and Lurich. Held in the crypt. Can't see how that could go wrong.
Can we be at the stage, Jed, where my replacement is possibly already known?
Where you are looking towards your retirement.
Yes. So maybe there is already another wizard / whatever.
Royal Inquisitor. So there is a different court wizard than you. You are not that.
No, I'm not a court wizard now.
And
investigator.
Effectively what you have is chief of non-military security, shall we say.
Yeah.
Intelligence maybe would be a modern
You send me in when, church of people found skinned or something.
For example.
Yeah.
Arcane investigator.
Yeah, and there will be others kind of below you or of similar expertise, but no one of the same prominence. And actually, I think, Sam, when you retire, because you are but a man.
Oh, more of a margarine man.
Unless I die.
Yeah. But yeah, when you are no longer able or willing to do your job, the question of whether there will be anyone of your standing, anyone able to do the job that you do to such proficiency, that question is not fully answered yet.
I don't think I rolled HP.
I didn't do.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't do mine either.
Do you guys want to do that right now? Probably a good idea to have HP.
Yeah. Yes.
So roll 15 of your normal hit dice, yeah.
Which is a...
For a warlock, it's a D8?
Yeah.
For a sorcerer, it's a D6, Sam.
I'm doing it in Discord. Fuck this.
Yeah, do it, yeah.
Meant to be
R
12d8
15d8.
plus 4d10.
Yeah, that would be the
Holy
same.
shit. There's some sixes in there.
Well,
I never roll sixes.
No, well, we know about your history of rolling hit dice, Sam.
I got 2 1s. This is fine.
I'm gonna roll mine.
Hit point.
Yeah,
Discord as well.
Manage.
So bounced around character.
Rolled
classes
68,
sometimes.
total 67. Okay, I've rolled
I have
67.
108 hit points.
I lost 1, apparently. I guess it gave me the average before or something. Is that what it does by default?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it had
if you ticked average before, yeah.
I don't know. It had 68 rolled HP and I rolled 67, so like, okay.
Oh no, it's probably your con bonus, because mine was 60, which is pretty much my con bonus. I think.
I have good con. I do have good con, yes. Wait, 4 times 15. Wait, what? Plus... Whatever, yeah, works.
Yeah.
Did you say 15?
I have health.
D8?
If you've got... Are you one class?
No. Or
So,
should I just roll
no.
one that
how
says
many
one?
how many level... You've got... Are you the Tabaxi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2...
So, aren't they both D8? Rogue and
No.
Ranger? I'm sure they
Oh,
are.
yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
So yeah,
Oh,
15
no.
D8.
Okay.
But yeah, if it was like a wizard and a ranger, you'd have to do some D8s and D4s or D6s. But yeah,
7.
whatever. Oh, I've been farting non-stop for 2 days in here, so it stinks. I'm going to open the window.
That last night when I got in bed, I asked Alma, I said, have you been farting? And she was like, no, that's just the smell from yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's just like my
cheese, baby.
stomach's been upset since I've had the flu, and every time I lie down, I just start farting. And then I've been drinking coffee to stay awake. Just makes it worse.
All right, I have 173 hit points.
Nice.
I have a
Not bad.
respectable amount.
How much AC do you have?
18.
19, baby. I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
18, isn't it?
Do I have a
Do you have any ways of making that higher though with Battlemaster? I haven't really played with Battlemaster.
Well, I can
Did you get
take out my
parry or
sword and
riposte?
shield instead of... Yeah, I think I got riposte as well, yeah.
glaive?
riposte.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can knock back certain amount of...
Plus 13. Holy shit, my man's got 25 strands, maybe.
Parry raises your AC. Riposte allows you to attack in response to an attack that misses
I've only
you.
got 90
let that
hit.
get cold.
I didn't get parry. I got
You didn't take parry.
riposte.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just as many
Let's do
attacks
shit
as
I can
possible.
90
So,
health.
False life. At will.
Lower them fucking.
Yeah, you don't need health.
Gav, have you worked out how many attacks per round you can make?
No, it's too complicated.
Yeah, it's
I think
rather,
it's
rather a
I
lot for you. Isn't it?
think
Probably,
it's-
probably 5
If
or
I
6.
use action surge, I think it's 7.
Attacks per action 3. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be per turn, and then you'll get extra within the round from things like riposte or just your attacks of opportunity as well.
Yeah, and all of those will be like trip attacks, disarming attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I'll trust you to keep
the
track of it.
maneuvers are basically a way of making a fighter as complicated as a caster. That's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Good.
Who's mid-ear?
Mid is my
I don't need
not
to look
a
at that
character anymore. No.
So
Mid-ear
Felix
is
is
Cal.
Victorion. Cal is Gav. Sam is Royal Auditor James. Jizz.
James, yeah.
Royal Auditor
Jeremy
Jizz.
Gerald James at your service, sir.
What? Oh my god. He's a bit of a fucking boffin, isn't he?
Yes. Quotation marks.
If only you knew.
He will know eventually.
The character is intelligent.
Okay, I'm going
Vic
to
is
have one more
called
quaff of
Felix,
whiskey.
yeah?
Yeah.
Of course he is. Not Mr. Snuggles or something. And then, I was nearly gonna call you Jethro, but,
Alistair.
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 Okay. So we all have everything we need to begin.
I have drink. Brain.
Oh, water, no
yeah,
brain.
why not?
Some brain. Half a
Some
can of
drink.
Coke.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. We'll play for a couple of hours and then we'll have a break to eat about, or do whatever we would like about 6:30.
I
Cool.
wine.
And then play for
Coffee.
as long as we would like after that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. The night is cold. Bone-shaking cold, and you wonder whether you will ever get warm again as you ride across the moors towards the coast. The sun set some hours ago, although you're sure that it's not really even dinner time yet, by what your stomach thinks. It is midwinter, and the only reprieve now is the knowledge that tomorrow will be a little brighter, and the day after that a little brighter again still. You wouldn't normally venture out, least of all in horrid, wind-whipping weather like this. But it would be rude to turn down an invitation from the prince himself. Worse perhaps than rude. In some violation maybe of an oath, a pact once taken. To follow the requests and the honour of the crown. It seems odd maybe to call in such a debt to attend a party. But it's important nonetheless. You've travelled maybe from Lurston, the capital, the home of the king, Michael of Lurich, towards the cliffs, the sandstone cliffs on the east coast, to the estate of a minor lord, Jörg Seeger, whose house is not especially grand for what it is. His terrain is not good farming land, not good fishing land, although it does offer some magnificent views of the sea. And shining out through the dark night, you see torch and other kinds of glow coming from the temple, just south of Seeger's house. And there you know other travellers are gathering. Sam, Royal Auditor Gimes, you've travelled some way. Alone, although you know for a fact you are not the only member of the royal house to be attending here. The prince himself, whom you have known since he was young, is hosting. But you expect to be familiar with much of the guest list. Arrive and give your second to off the wind. The temple here is thatch-roofed, beamed with oak, but the floor is hard stone, as are the pews, as is the altar at the eastern end. There is a fire and a little space to keep warm.
Okay.
Behind you, the door cracks, and in walks a figure you have done your best to avoid for a few years. The known warlock and meddler in eldritch affairs, Alistair. Gex, would you like to describe for Sam and the rest of the group once they arrive what they see of your character? Or not, if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Muted. Yeah, I muted my headset. He's about 3 feet tall. He's got a wonderful, shiny mithril half plate covered with a red cloak, and what would probably be a long sword to a regular person slung across his back. It's got like the head of a dragon on the pommel. It looks pretty badass. But he's short, with whipping mustachios and short hair, and just wears a bit of jewelry. It's kind of got some bling.
You're a gnome, aren't you?
Yes, pretty small.
So
guy.
you may well the Seeger family are also gnomes.
Okay.
This is the only gnome noble in Lurich. Most other gnomes are business folks, travellers. They don't tend to have large communities here, but there are enough families around that you will know people.
Wonderful. So yes, it's mithril half plate. So
cool.
That does
In Gnomish, I'll say good evening. Must admit, I wasn't expecting to see yourself here this evening.
Well, I couldn't resist a cryptic invitation.
Indubitably.
And Sam, what does your character look like? What greets Alistair as you walk in?
Like a 65-year-old dude who looks like he's really decrepit, but might not be, and balding, but with like the classic monk style fucking half head covered in grey long hair, and a pair of rather small glasses.
Lovely.
Wearing very ornate robes.
Alistair, you'll be familiar with Gimes by reputation at least. He is known for thwarting trouble and getting in the way maybe of the kind of business you'd normally do. You've avoided each other by fortune over the last few years.
I see. I'll eye him warily as I take a seat.
There is no one else in the temple. This is normally tended by monks, by clerical staff. The fire is well stocked and there's a pile of wood next to it. There are a few doors, including a set of stairs downwards near the altar at the eastern end.
Oh, I did forget a few things. Yeah, so I will be sitting here resting a staff against the ground, kind of leaning on it as if it was my crutch. And atop the staff will be 3 very shiny gems just levitating around it, including a diamond.
They're kind of dancing in the air, aren't they?
Yeah, kind of dancing in the air. And I'll take a seat on the pew, and as I sit here, I will pull out a pipe and blow smoke-shaped dragons.
I raise an eyebrow at such an ostentatious display of magic.
Indeed.
Gav, the journey for you has been long. And you convinced yourself that when you left the mountains, the weather was going to get gentler and gentler. But you've traded hard, icy rock for thick, squelching grassland, trying to avoid swollen rivers and picking which sections of road will be least populated. The days have gotten shorter as you've journeyed because you've had to come quite some way. But a promise is a promise, and you want to see what the young prince has to offer. And so you find the temple right where it was when you were last here, lit by the fire within, and find 2 other travellers taking shelter from the storm.
Is the temple itself in a complex, or is it a standalone building?
It is standalone. There is a house, like a stately house, let's say 100 feet to the north of it.
Okay.
And that there have been, that house has other buildings near it, kind of outbuildings, storage sheds, staff quarters, that sort of thing. But the temple itself is given some respected distance.
All right. I'll tie up my horse. I have a big draft horse, Flax. I'll tie him up on the outside of the temple, and I'll make my way in.
What do the people inside taking shelter from the storm see?
Cal is a man dressed in darkened plate mail with a jet black magical cloak over his shoulders. Across the front of the plate is a chain of teeth with a single red gem about the size of a man's fist hanging from a small chain at the center of it. He carries in his left hand a giant glaive, and on his back is a sword and shield. Prominently around his waist is this enormously thick belt of a reddish fur and leather. He is 6'6". He's probably in his early 60s, and he has a shaven head and a long grey beard, a full beard. And he has several scars across his head and his face. Some of you will know of him. He has fought in the last Great War, whatever that is, with King Michael, and he has sworn some oath to him. There's always a war, exactly.
I will, upon him entering the room, you will see my smoke animal change into a giant bear.
Wow.
Wasn't expecting to see you here. A night of a ceremony of whatever. What was it called again? Magic and inspiration.
Well, I was curious. It's been a while. I had to check back in on King Michael, see what this prince is made of. Got a fairly poncy sounding name.
Young and naive is the answer.
Alistair, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Gerald,
me.
isn't it? Yeah, sorry, I was mixing it up.
Yes, James. Orders for James.
James. Yes. Believe you were with the king as well when I was in town in the past.
Gav, I'm going to invite a history check on this one. Because it's been some time since you were...
Well, maybe I don't know him then, yeah.
Well,
A 9.
a 9. You'll remember James a little bit, but not a lot about him. Not so much of what he does. Certainly
Just
not what he's
recognise the
done in the
face or whatever.
past. But you'll recognise the face. You'll know a little bit about something what he does, which is, as we've said, it's kind of
Magic-y.
investigation, magical problem solving. Absolutely. Vic, Felix doesn't like the wet, doesn't like the cold too much, but will go where he's told.
That's not very cat-like. Sorry.
I know it's not. And you are curious, if nothing else, to see what tonight is all about. You have known young Rousselet, who will one day be Rousselet the Fourth, to throw some wicked parties in his day. And as you come up on the temple in Seeger's Land, you see a horse tied up outside in the rain, shrugging off the cold lashings of weather, and hear voices, friendly chatter coming through the windows.
Is the place very well lit? Is it dim lighting, bright lighting?
It's so outside is dark. It is midwinter's night. This is the longest night of the year. Inside there is clearly a fire crackling. There is other light, perhaps of a magical nature, spilling out through the windows.
Yeah. Oh, just gonna walk in then, but I'm gonna have my hood up, so I will be rather indiscreet.
Okay, are you looking to
Unless-
be not easily recognised?
Just not easily seen to a degree.
Not easily
It's,
seen. Okay, that's
Unless
interesting.
it's
Yeah.
bright light, when I've got my hood up and I've come from a dark place, I generally not very easily seen.
I'm going to invite a stealth check regardless.
Okay.
I understand what you're getting at there. The area inside is well lit, but if you'd like to deliberately do anything,
It's like 26 plus whatever my. So
without now
Yeah.
without checking, does anybody have a passive perception higher than 26?
No.
No.
My passive's garbage.
So
That's really high for a passive.
yes, I agree.
my
Felix, you enter the room, and although you're not sure quite how unseen you are, nobody responds to you walking in. There are 3 travellers on the stone pews, close to the fire, talking, reacquainting
recognize
themselves.
Sam slightly.
You will recognise James.
Is there
I
space
definitely
next
recognise
to
my
him?
smoke-shaped fucking animals and blowing
Sit
out my
down.
pipe.
Because if there's space next to him, I'm gonna go and literally sit next to him and take my hood off.
I imagine you guys have sat on. There are chairs and pews, near the fireplace. So you fellas have taken seats. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll be near the fire.
I'll take a
Actually,
seat. I'm gonna take a rod out of my pocket and just put it in the
Cool.
air and let go, and then hang my cloak off it.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So I take it they're sat in like a triple thing, and you've got like a gap one side waiting for the last person to turn up. So I'm gonna walk to that gap and then just pop my hood down, which will then allow me to be visible to the.
Yeah.
I will blow a kitten-shaped smoke cloud as he reveals his face.
I'll probably be startled and probably reach for a weapon, but then catch myself.
I'll give him an eyebrow raise.
Good evening, Felix.
Meow.
Felix takes 6 points of psychic damage. No. No, it's fine. All right. Okay.
Evening. Yeah.
How common are tabaxi?
Not common.
Extremely rare.
Yeah, not
I
common.
was bought pretty much as a pet, thinking I was like a normal cat or a bigger cat eventually, and turned into a walking, talking.
A person. Yeah.
Yeah. Which has then been co-opted into doing, the crown's spying, so forth. So yeah, I'd be getting some fucking strange looks.
Yeah, you're getting one at the moment from me.
Yeah. The chapel is unoccupied other than the four of you. The fire, as I've said, is well stocked. There's a decent sized pile of logs beside it. There are a couple of doors, including a set of stairs downwards at the eastern end, near the altar. And past the altar, large stained glass windows rattle with the sound of rain.
And were we expecting to be met by somebody? The prince? Or...
You have had the invitation, as was put in the Discord, in writing. You have not been told that anyone will meet you.
Well,
Does it
perhaps
look like
we
his
should-
handwriting, Jed? Sorry.
You can give me an investigation check if you'd like, but basically, I think your passive investigation is quite good. No, but you mightn't expect it to be that. It is sealed. With
Does it look like who would normally write it? I would
does.
probably
Yeah.
think I would be used to that.
You're familiar with the prince's waiters,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah, and it carries a royal seal, right?
Yeah, and it carries his specific seal.
Yes. Yeah, fine. No more questions.
Well then, perhaps we should just go down to the temple. If
Okay.
everyone's here and everyone's ready.
What?
Just us, is it? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take the stairs downwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take the stair down.
You descend a little way, and it is already darker. But here a large iron door greets you. It is adorned, decorated. And it is locked. You try it. The handle does not turn.
I'll give it a kick as way of a knock. Just a couple of taps.
It rings, it rattles slightly, but it is heavy. It would take a lot of strength to displace it.
Well,
What are we late?
knock. Hello? And I will use the command word for my ring of X-ray vision and look through the door.
Okay.
Is there anyone on the other side?
Okay.
30 foot. I think it's just 30 foot. Maybe 20.
Yeah.
30 foot, yeah.
You see through. Now, Sam, I believe Jimes will have been here before. And so you look through the crypt, through the door into the crypt. There is a space here with several caskets, and they are well decorated. There is statuary. There are, what's the fucking term? You know when you get a sarcophagus, maybe? You know, like decorated fucking graves, including statues of the people who may well have been buried or interred there. There are marks. There are some paper records. You see nobody living on the other side. I will, however, invite investigation checks from everybody.
Go to go.
Doth thou see anybody not living on the other side, Jed?
There are skeletons.
There we go. Are
They're
they
falling.
moving?
No, they are not moving. They are lying as you would expect in a crypt
In
full
their
of
caskets,
graves.
yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you. See, your very specific wording there.
21
It's
investigation,
21 on the investigation check. Anybody? Any advances on 21?
No.
which is the same as my passive.
Yeah. Okay. In terms of decoration on the door, I mean, what did everybody get?
9.
Void.
9,
I
14.
didn't roll. Do you need me to roll?
Give me a roll anyway, Sam.
Am I investigating something within a foot of me, i.e. the door?
You are certainly, yes. Yeah, give it advantage.
That didn't even fucking roll. I know that was a 20, but I didn't roll.
We got double 17s.
That is a double 17. I think that's 31.
Gav, you have learned that the the door is iron, it is heavy, it is well locked. You have learned this from a tap of your toe. It would take a lot of force to kick this down. You have some experience in this matter.
This is my new scene.
Gex, you do not see a keyhole looking at it. And you reason that the method of locking
Yeah, can I
must
detect
be...
magic?
Yeah, you don't even need to do that. You reason that it must be a magical lock from an investigation check. Vic, the decorations stand out to you, and you see rather prominently a crown, a skull, and a shell. Those three look less dusty than some of the others.
Oh god, it's
The
scary.
skull is in the center. The shell is wreathed with waves and rain above it. The crown is set amongst the trees and the grasses. Sam, up at a 21? No, Vic.
31.
31, yes, absolutely. Yeah, Vic got a 21, didn't he? Sam, you recall a particular line from your invitation upon noting all those other details.
Read the line out.
It says, the crown grants you entry.
Yes, I will read that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
You will notice that there is less dust and perhaps some shining on the metal.
I'll prod the crown with
yes,
my finger, I guess.
And upon touching
Exactly.
the crown, the lock clicks and the door comes open.
As I said, the crown will grant you entry.
Quick thinking, that man. Have I met? You said the gnomes. Will I know this lord?
You'll certainly know him by reputation. He's industrious. He's not of an old noble family, but rather, because this isn't good farming land. This isn't good fishing land. The land is not the important part of Seeger's estate, but rather the business assets that he owns. He owns ships, and this is part of, there are two natural inlets into the nation nearby here. It kind of sits on a peninsula between what are the fucking rivers called?
Mercantile noble.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah, but yeah, between the Lurich and the Beck, he's got that bit of land, and he likes to look out at ships coming in and out.
Yeah.
with that. But his ships are known for being a little faster than some of the others, a little better defended.
Yeah.
And so he's done well for that and forged a good relationship with the family. The temple is older than the house.
So, sorry, was the temple in the basement of the house?
The temple is offset from the house, so you are in
Okay.
the temple. The temple is about 100 feet south of the house.
Right.
And but it is older.
Okay.
You are in a room full of graves, caskets, etc.
Seega, something like that. Okay.
Seega, S-E-E-G-E.
Yeah, no, I just read the letter again.
Yeah.
The abbot's light guide. Carry on.
In terms of statues that stand out, there is one of a gnome holding a hammer, the kind that would be used by a smith. There is a statue standing near the center of the room of a monk. Now, those of you who, again, have visited this temple before will recognize this as being the habit of the local monks. And he holds a lamp.
Oh, following your suggestion there, James, the abbot's light guide your path. Could be the monk. Perhaps we wrap on that little blast piece of shit. I don't know.
Well, your logic is flawless, good sir.
Guess we'll poke the lamp.
There is so the lamp is, I mean, it's a little away above your head if you're a gnome, but anyone else looking in will see a small reserve of oil and a wick in the lamp in the hand of the statued monk.
I completely forgot to mention that I'm wearing a hat. That's important. You must know I'm wearing a hat.
Okay.
Yes, I completely forgot to mention that. Sorry.
I'm not. It's important. It's not important. Well, I don't have any way of lighting the lamp. Perhaps just to light the lamp.
I'll pick up the lamp.
So it's built into the statue.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
It's in the statue's hand. It's built into it. The lamp itself is stone, but looking into the chamber, there is no glass, but there is some oil and a wick.
Anyone carrying
I'll hand up a tinderbox because I've got a tinderbox. There you go.
Well, I'll just look around at James. Do you really want me to mess around with this, or can you just like that?
Lamp, good man.
What do you take me for? Some sort of sorcerer of the fires?
Somebody who has that cantrip. I hand him the tinderbox again.
I will. Use the tinderbox and strike and just light the torch.
I'm just checking. I don't think I have a single fire spell.
Yeah, I don't. I've got fucking
prestidigitation
I've got 8th level spell, but I don't have.
I do have prestidigitation. Yes,
you can use prestidigitation.
There we go. I will do that. Yeah, sorry.
To ignite a candle or something. I think it's an explicit effect of that spell.
Yes,
right?
I'm not familiar
much
with
cooler
it
than using matches.
It, but yes, that one, please. Flick my fingers and say the words.
Regardless, James smokes. He's got to have some way of lighting things, right?
Yeah. No, it's a magical fucking pipe. If you not read it.
Wait, what I missed?
Incredible.
It doesn't matter.
The wick in the lamp. The wick in the lamp lights, and a part of the wall beneath the temple clicks and slides back. There is another chamber beyond that is actually lit. Torches sit down the wall, and a monk sits on a bench reading from a book. He looks up at you.
Oh there, brother.
Ah. Hello, fellows.
Walk into the room with them.
Some weather we're having, eh? Happy midwinter to you all.
And to you.
You too.
Now, what am I supposed to do? Do you have your invitations?
Indeed.
I do. I'll take it out from underneath my cloak, all crumpled and probably a bit worn from the weather and the road.
Everybody going to present their invitation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a
Yeah.
flourish.
And he glances at them and says, "Oh, you're the last ones to arrive. Amazing that you've all come in together. Now, you'll want to go down the stairs. Now, let me give you directions. First of all, keep a good grip of the rail. This is very important. When you get to the bottom of the stairs, go left, past the next staircase, go right at the split, and then it's the third right after that. That's your chamber of inspiration.
Left, right,
All
third,
right.
right. Thanks, brother.
You can smell the wine on his breath.
Is it lit? The way I
The
had?
wine. This
Lit-
stairwell
lit
is. The stairway is lit. There are torches now leading downwards, and a solid, if slightly rattly, handrail all the way down.
All right. Make my way down. I will give it a moderate grip because I
A
don't want to
moderate-
damage it.
No, that's fine.
I'll nudge Cal in the ribs and say, well, in the shins and say, yeah, I think the fella smelled a bit of a drunken master, if you ask me.
Yes.
Well, it is midwinter.
Yeah.
And I suppose it is meant to be a party of some sorts.
Yeah.
I could do with a drink myself.
Aye.
As I will grip the railing, maybe last, I don't know. And as I go down, I will cast mending on any bits that row.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be broken. There's a little bit of rust. There's a little bit of corrosion, but by and large, it just feels like a nice old piece of metal. There's a little bit of play between it and the rock, but not an
Wow.
awful lot.
Bit of standard wear and tear.
I'll make it less wear and tear then,
Yeah.
Whatever. Sorry, did we say it was lit? I might have stopped.
Yeah.
The stairwell is lit by torches. Right, you can give me passive perception or investigation, whichever is higher.
Both of mine are 21.
21.
My
16.
passive insight's 21 as well.
Right, you're easy. Sam's investigation is 24.
How far down is it?
What was the so as you are descending, you don't descend too far. It's how far is it? I've got it written down. It's 120 feet, you would say, to descend.
Fair.
Doesn't take too long. Takes, at a gentle pace. That's less than a minute.
Yeah.
The stairs are not too steep. But I think all of you have high enough there to notice, as you reach what feels like the bottom, a rune glowing, carved into the wall near your feet at the bottom step. This is doubtlessly a magical mark.
And then there's a door there as well.
You've reached an open corridor which goes left and right.
Right, which way did he say?
Left.
Yeah.
Left past the
All
next
right.
stairs.
Right.
Okay, I'll go down. I'll go past the rune.
Pass it all.
Yeah.
Move along. This corridor is fairly long. It is unadorned. It is carved into the soft red rock that makes up now these cliffs upon which Seeger has built his home. You pass, after a little while, a staircase again on your left, and then the corridor curves a little way to the right until it reaches a wall with a split.
To right.
Right at the split, yep.
Yeah.
and you continue onwards. This corridor now is quiet, and the air is that fascinating underground stillness and temperature that must be the same all through the year. It would feel bitterly cold in the summer, but now, with your midwinter lungs and skin, you can feel yourself almost warming up. You pass a door on your left, and then on your right, and then another on your left, and then another. Wait, yeah, door on your. One on your right, one on your
Before
left.
we enter the room,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to use my shadow stalk ability to step into Gav's shadow
Okay.
and
Cool.
remain hidden.
The shadows are moving. You are moving down a torchlit corridor. So the static shadows are not static.
Yeah, that's you. Literally just like become the same. You occupy the same space as that character, essentially.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't notice.
Yeah.
Take the third door on the right.
Third right. Brilliant.
All right.
Okie dokie. And so there is a small little stretch, and another monk stands before you, wearing the same habit as the one above. This is a human man, healthy looking. His eyes dilated from sitting in the darkness, but there is a torch before him. So, yeah, welcome, fellas. Do you have your invitations?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Hand it back. Hand it to him.
Excellent. Brilliant. Okay.
Is the prince here already?
Oh, you're the last ones to arrive, believe it or not. Amazing that you've all come in together. But, that'll wrap things up. Things will be getting going quite soon, I imagine. But, they're not too drunk. None of us are too drunk, so that'll be alright. Don't mind the, he waves at something gently towards the ceiling. You've all got high enough passive skills there, you will notice a similar rune to the one by the bottom of the stair. But he leans towards the
Are you
door
sure about that?
All right.
and speaks the word Agor,
Bless
and
you.
the door cracks and opens.
I have
And you are in.
Walk in.
Yeah.
I have 11, 12, 11 on my passives.
Yeah, it's not too difficult.
Okay, good.
Oh, maybe
Just try-
maybe Alistair doesn't, then I'm not sure, but everyone else I think.
Let's stroll in.
Not particularly wise.
The Chamber of Inspiration is indeed well lit and well populated. There are, let me count them. 12, 13 other people in there. Some music, although no one seems to be holding an instrument, fills the air, and the smell of spiced food, crackling smoke emanates from a fireplace and tables. Wine is being moved around. There are none of the resident monks, but folks of different walks of life from around Lurich gathered here, chattering.
And are we being announced or anything, or is it just strolling into an already going party?
No one has announced you. There is a party ongoing, and you are entering, although as the door cracks, a young man, 20, 23, few less than 25 certainly, in a purple robe, smiles, laughs, apologizes to the man next to him, and walks over to greet you all. Says, "Oh, James, Felix, you must be Cal. It has been a long time. glad you can all make it here. And Alistair. Now, now I'm glad that you're here as well. Absolutely. I mean, no, the rest of these, they all owed me something, but, well, I'm glad that you're all here. Come in, get yourselves some drinks. There's, we've mulled wine, and there's cider. The monks make a delicious cider. They keep apples from Lusana and the Harvest and so on, and, they spice them up deliciously. Come and have some. And he leads you over to a table. Now, who'd have thought it? Me pouring drinks, eh? But he does, clumsily.
Prince Rusalay, I presume, yeah?
Indeed, I am. You won't have seen me since I was sort of
Yeah,
his
about the
height.
height of me knee.
Yeah. And he points to a couple of the gnomes around the room. There is one other gnome in the room besides Alistair.
Your Eminence, it is great to see you.
James, let's dispense with this. I mean, I am indeed His Royal Highness Prince Rusalay, to be the king of Lurich and all that, but tonight, well, let's use names. We're all here for something, well, more eminent again, maybe. Inspiration, indeed. That's what they call this room. We're here to get at what we really want. We're going to get something exciting, I think. Gifts! Midwinter gifts! Who'd have thought it? It's what we really need, some cheer at this time of year, eh?
Yeah. Look at him a bit odd. I'll pour myself I'll grab what is meant for the cider, a vessel meant for the cider, and fill it with mulled wine.
Yeah.
Like a pint of mulled wine or whatever.
I'll
Great.
say,
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody is a fan of gifts here.
And there are baked potatoes, there are roasted birds, and there is pork. There is crystallized fruit and nuts preserved. There is spiced foods of all variety, mince pies, dried and baked fruit baked into a pie.
Prince, Your Highness, what's this all about then?
Well, I thought
that myself.
I was just saying to William here, and he points to another man who is wearing green. I was just saying to William here. Do you all know William Beck? He lives a little further west of us. Regardless, we have an opportunity to bring everyone together, and myself and Elizabeth, who's you know Elizabeth James, she's the court wizard. She works under my father, but we're quite close. She's discovered something quite amazing, and I think we have an opportunity to hear the voice of, well, let's say the power of us kings will pale in comparison.
Huh.
We've gotten in contact with a figure that shapes reality. Gods, man. Genuine, we're here to... He's excited. Brucelay is grinning. He has a wild look in his eye. And so we were studying in the high tower just a few nights past, and we caught a glimpse of a star we didn't fully recognize. And Elizabeth has this amazing apparatus for refracting and refocusing light, for projecting light, and I don't fully understand all the processes myself, but we were able to make contact with a figure that grants wishes.
Oh God,
my boys! it's amazing, and I thought, who better than the champions of the realm? Hey, I mean, there's all sorts of important people here, and none of the servile classes or the, well, all sorts of different folks, but the very best of us, the very best for Lurich, to come together and see what is on offer.
Such things can't be entrusted to the small folk.
Well, exactly. I knew, Alistair, you'd understand it. You're a man that understands this. What a higher power can really do for us.
I'll eat a baked potato like an apple and say, yes, do go on. Dry. Eating a baked potato dry, like an apple.
Yeah, absolutely. It's well cooked. The skin is crispy, but the inside is soft. This might have been in a fire for quite some time, but
So it's been wrapped in tinfoil.
Exactly.
My friends,
No.
I must admit, I am a little bit dubious of this course of action.
Yeah,
One should know not to be interested in such foolhardy promises.
Dimes, that's why I wanted you here, because you're a man with experience on these things and caution, and that's good judgment. That's what we want. I wouldn't,
What's King Michael think of all this?
See now. I haven't spoken to him about it.
I thought as much.
Now, I was hoping with a man such as yourself here, Cal, the storied and wonderful warrior, you could see what good was here to come, and when it's time to speak to my father, we can, he can see what's right, and he's kept the kingdom going by doing what he's always done, which is what his father did, and it's honoring the gods, and well, we've some real forward thinkers here. Let me introduce you to Valmorin, some of the elves. Valmorin Glenstrayer, come over here. And there's a young elf woman who walks over, and James, you might have heard of her, and I can answer any questions that you might have, but the rest of you won't have done. She looks, for an elf, kind of haughty. Haughty for an elf is arrogant indeed. Not pretty, not glamorous, but like she's pissed off to be called over. But at the same time, pleased that her opinion is being valued. And Rousselet says, Valmorin here has been travelling to the south. She's been over the mountains. She's been over the mountains, and she's found this. She had this wonderful turn of phrase. This great, verdant plain was the term you used for it, right? This verdant land. She's talking about taking some elves down there to live. We Valmorin, we value the elvish population here. You have some wonderful contributions to our cultures. I'm sure that your kinsfolk here will all echo the same. You're valuable people here in Lurich. But my point, gentlemen, is that Valmorin is an example of the kind of people I wanted to represent at this kind of summit. People pushing the frontiers.
So, did you say she wants to go down somewhere?
Well, she's been travelling, but she's you can tell the fellas about it. I'm sure if you'd like, Valmorin. And the elf woman rolls her eyes and says, "I'm sure they don't want to know. It's elf business. We told you as a matter of courtesy, Rousselet."
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So, let's get on with it then.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's here. Elizabeth, are we ready? And there's a young woman. She's maybe older than him, but not by much. Felix and James will recognise this woman as the court wizard. One of a couple, but her name is Elizabeth.
Before we start, can I talk to Elizabeth?
If you want to catch her, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just as she's going over or something, I'll step away from the prince.
She is marking the ground with a kind of cobalt blue paint.
What is it? What is this you're up to? This doesn't sound good. Tell me.
What has he told you?
Comets, wishes, divine powers. This all sounds like, the fables of old to be avoided. Assuming there are such things.
So crucially, fellas, because I know you guys as players know where Lurich goes in terms of its relationship with gods and other planes. Can you suspend that as characters for the time being?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see where the evening goes. Without
I'm
spoiling.
not suggesting demonic things here, Jed. I'm just
No, I know.
James
Yeah,
is very much not a fan of wishes and is not
Things that
religious
come
at all.
by
powers.
easily.
Yeah, I know about James's history with these things as it is.
Yes, exactly. He was the one who saved the king.
Yeah,
previously.
absolutely. And so Elizabeth, on the other hand, does not have that history. Does not have
that's
that
my
relationship.
point. Yeah.
She is a wizard and curious about wizardly things and interested in building her own power, amongst other things. You have met her, you have spoken to her about this, you have this impression of her already.
Don't like it. Carry on.
But she simply says, well, then that's what's happening. And if the prince says it's a good idea, well, clearly it is.
I should have formatted that there.
I've got
I've already saved his father once from these stupid schemes. I don't have to do the same for his son.
Came up with a little backstory on the fly.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, okay.
Not very detailed or relevant.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I've got it. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm getting too old for this, Elizabeth, I must say. You do as you must.
Yeah.
I hope to God that you're right.
We wanted you here, James. You're a real important person, to this kingdom.
Kind of a big deal.
But yeah.
As everyone always tells me.
Sam, I'll invite you to write. I'll invite you to roll an insight check, although it's not terribly difficult.
Going to be she's a bitch. That's a 14.
14. Yeah, there's a hint of sarcasm to her voice.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I don't like her.
Yeah. And that's fine. That's a reasonable insight into your relationship. Being the magical investigator in the court, she's more or less always treated with suspicion, right?
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah.
Just as a last thing, in my past, have I uncovered anything similar to this line of wishes and promises during my investigations?
It's the sort of thing powerful magical users always get interested in.
Yes, and always ends badly, right?
I'm going to invite. Now, you've seen that she is marking floor with a kind of cobalt ink or paint. I'm going to invite an Arcana check.
Okay. That's a 30.
32. Right. Okay. In which case, this is not. This is something you have seen before. It is distinctly a magic circle that would be used for binding an entity traveling from another plane. And entrapping them, at the very least.
What are you up to? Chasing Jin? As in, this fucking monster, not.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I'm chasing down a Jin right now as they're having this conversation.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's Jin. I think Rousselet's got it on the mark, to be honest. the prince, you should give him more credit than he's cracked up for. I think, yeah.
Okay. Assuming there's no you would have told me if there was a distinctly bad thing happened the last time I encountered such a whatever.
So you've seen people attempt this before. This one looks pretty well intact. A 30 on the magic, on 30 on the Arcana check. The spell is going to work. You can be pretty confident of that. You've come across it in the past where it hasn't worked, and it's gone badly for people. And
Okay.
you have across instances where people have attempted these things and they've simply not done it right, and it's done nothing, but they've proved to be no good. Elizabeth is a well enough trusted court figure, as Rousselet is literally the heir in line to the throne. You might not have too much to gain from, plotting against.
I'm not suggesting such things.
No.
Yes, but then I will quietly stand by and watch. Retrieve some sort of beverage to do so.
Absolutely. Around the room, if each of you are mingling, you'll hear a few other things. Gav, I'm trying to get my hand on who you might recognize around the room. There are a few other elves. There are 2 other elves. There are a couple of dwarves. And the dwarves have with them, standing close to them, a Goliath. You are familiar with giants. You are familiar with Goliath. You are familiar with their relationship. And it is not always
So you didn't make
friendly.
a Goliath this time, Jet?
I haven't made a... Gav did not make a Goliath. Gav's a human.
Yeah, sorry. I assumed he was for some reason. That's my bad.
Yeah.
And he also made a Goliath. There's another guy.
Yeah.
So I might recognize one of the dwarves, just them being long-lived.
Absolutely. And so of the 2, there is one who is older, and he you have met. His name is Leithtogi Yarn. And he's, in your experience, a bit of a blowhard, a bit of a nationalist. He talks a lot about dwarf nationalism, dwarf kind of pride, purpose. That's his drive, so to speak. He suggests maybe that the dwarves of Lurich have lost their way. But he is a prominent figure amongst them. You don't recognize the younger dwarf. He has a blonde hair and a large hammer in his hand. There's one other gnome around the room. There is one lizardman and one orc. The lizardman has green scales, but is otherwise not well armed. He has a small wooden arrangement around his neck. The dwarf, however, is adorned... No, the orc, rather, is adorned with jawbones and tusks and teeth.
I'll just go over and make small talk to the dwarves and just say, what they think of all this.
Yeah. They... Stogi, the older dwarf, speaks most. The young dwarf doesn't speak very much at all. He kind of screws his face up a little bit and listens. He's pleased that he's getting the recognition to be invited. But he's travelled a long fucking way for this, and it needs to get on with. Young humans causing trouble, getting up to new ideas and speaking about what's next. Well, what about what used to be? What about what's right? But, the grubs...
Not bad.
Yeah, they eat well down here, don't they? That's why they're so bloody stuffed.
Yep.
Don't catch anything. The Goliath who's with them has not spoken. He is looking at you. But is paying attention. You can tell to the other men. The other.
I'll just say the equivalent of yo or what's up in giant to him.
And the dwarves, both of them, bristle a little bit at that, but kind of pretend they haven't heard it. The Goliath doesn't respond, verbally at least. Felix, is there anything you would like to do around the room? Anyone you would like to
being
look
uncomfortable in these
into?
sorts of situations, he would try and find somewhere out the way and just disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just stay hidden and observe.
The room is torchlit. It is the torches flicker, and so there are slight gaps in the light. It is enclosed and round, with the only way in and out having been the door through which the four of you came, that you can see. You find yourself nearby to the two other elves. And one of them is saying, look, do you speak Elvish? I can't remember what languages you have. That's what I thought. And so they are speaking Elvish to one another. A youngish elf man and a young elf woman. The man is saying, look, this... whatever's coming, like... there's got to be a way to kill it, right? I mean, there's no way this can be trusted. There's no way it's safe. We've got to find out what it is, and that's why we've got to stay. You know, we've got to stay. We've got to find out what's coming. We've got to find out what's how to kill the damn thing. I know it's not safe and all that, but what's less safe? This thing, the thing getting in here and us not knowing about it. A mystery. How's that safe?
Can I hear this conversation?
No, because you are at the
Yes.
same time as you are speaking to her.
Roger.
But Felix is getting a listen to it. Yeah. And after a moment, Elizabeth claps her hands and straightens up and signals to the prince, who breaks off from his conversation. He's been speaking to Cal for a little bit more, telling a story about his father is, relaying effectively a story to Cal about Cal that Rousselet had heard from his father. And addresses the entire room and says, noble protectors and champions of the realm, I am honored beyond measure by your presence and your patronage and your deeds. Why, in this room alone, we have such power, such incredible majesty, and such a weight of accomplishments. Really, really astounding. But we have here an opportunity to meet a being, I believe, that could outshine us all. I grant you and gift to you the voice of a god of the realm. And he pauses as though he's expecting applause, but it does not come. And after a moment, Elizabeth, the young wizard, unfolds from beneath the table a long stretch of coiled metal, taller than any of you, as tall perhaps as the death that has accompanied the two dwarves, and carries it, bending, to to the center of the room, the center of the circle that she has painted on the ground. She is careful not to step or even kick dust over the painted marks. Places it into the ground so that it points upwards, this corkscrew coil towards the ceiling. And steps back, holding her hands away from it. And there is a pause. A brief pause. A sense that he is waiting for a second. She does not speak. And then there is a crack of light and lightning. And the room fills with blinding thunder and force. And for some of you, a voice fills the air. I'm messaging some of you.
God damn it.
While this is going on, I want to go over and put one of the torches out on the wall.
While things are taking place, while it's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Just go and create myself some patches of darkness and dim light. Having overheard what those people were saying, it made me very wary.
Mm-mm.
Here we are.
Seem to run to everyone.
Yeah, sorry, there's a couple of things. Here we are. The moment of the lightning flashing seems to take an eternity. It feels no different than any other, but the room is nothing. You are in with this presence, blinded, deafened by the clap of thunder. There is a presence with you. Gex, you are not unfamiliar with this feeling, but rather than a voice, rather than an offer, something wrestles against you, as though you are being tasted, rejected,
I'll
spat out.
just touch the hilt of my sword for more for reassurance than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam, I might invite you to make me a persuasion roll.
Yes. Shoot. Sorry. Discord full screen. I'm reading all that.
Yeah, because I realise this is a little boring for you.
Sorry.
Things are happening. 20. Not natural.
For 20 total.
Already rolling the dice, gentlemen. That's a deception 22.
I think that'll end the conversation there, Sam. I'm going to wait for a couple of other replies. Although I don't need definitive answers just yet. People can answer through actions. As the room starts to refold, your eyes lose some of that blinding glare. Your ears ring a little less, a little less, a little less. And the metal sprung, twisted coil in the center of the room is glowing. Green. Greener than the grass upon the surface at midsummer. Twisting and taking shape so that it is no longer coil of metal, but split into 4, 6 legs, torso, arms, head, cooling, taking shape before the torchlight And within the center of the circle, there is now a man. Perhaps an elf, perhaps a human, perhaps something else entirely. He is pale, as though he has spent his entire life out of the sun. His hair is black and slicked. His fingers are long, precise, aristocratic. But he is well dressed. Dressed for a party. And his face is smiling. Before the crowd assembled before him. And there is a gasp, a murmur, a hush, panic beginning within the room. The lizardman, green-scaled, pushes past the betoothed orc, hurrying towards the door. The man introduced as William, to whom the prince had been speaking when you entered the room, is also rushing towards the door. Everyone is moving. There is a click of weapons in the air. But Prince Rousselet cries out, "Stop! Calm yourself. No one can leave just yet." And all of you, each one of you, feels a tranquility come over you. For this stranger, this man, formed from lightning-struck steel and glowing green light. Well, perhaps he is a friend after all.
No saves.
No saves. But Sam, I will invite you to make, I think, either an insight or a perception check. Felix also.
$19.
19 on which roll, Sam? Perception or insight? Would you like to go
Either.
for? Well, let me know, because it'll affect what information I give you.
The opposite of Vic.
Mine is 27 either way.
Again,
Oh.
please make a choice.
Okay, insight for me.
Insight for, yeah. In which case I'd recommend a perception then for Felix.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, on the insight roll, Rousselet's voice echoes here. He is commanding in a way that you are not used to hearing him speak. He sounds like his father. This is a voice that is used issuing decrees and commanding armies, and this is not something you are used to Rousselet doing, although he has been trained for it his entire life. And it is good to see it on him. It suits him. Felix, you notice the prince, as he is speaking, clutch at his arm as though in pain. The room has come calm. Even the green-scaled lizardman has stopped his mad dash for the door. What would you all like to do?
Intellect Fortress.
Okay. I'm reminding myself of that spell because I haven't actually.
Because I'm not an idiot right now, so I'm casting that on myself.
Okay. There's no roll involved in that. Okay, cool. Yeah, fine. That is a verbal component, but that's fine. You don't need to do anything else. You just mumble something.
Hang on a minute. That's abjuration. Yeah, it is verbal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mumble something, and you feel the eldritch ward wrap around your thoughts. You feel, if anything, clearer, more fortified, more aware of what will be going on around you. But
Yes, if
still,
anything, everyone around me will have just seen me cast a spell in response to.
Yeah.
As if I was scared or something.
But still, this feeling of calm persists.
I'm going to cast True Sight.
Okay,
Activate my.
You're going to activate your gem of true sight. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What are you looking for?
It just lasts 10 minutes, so I'm just going to be basically using it to look at this thing
You
then look
yeah.
around the room to see if anyone else is
Right.
not who they say they are.
Gav might be the only person who can be able to.
I'm reminding myself. Right, I'm just checking certainly what's going on with this. Visual illusions. Okay. Looking around the room. Most of the people who were here before appear as they did before. You become aware. The lizard person, the lizard folk, looks mostly like he did before. But there is something spiking from him, like as though his texture map is slightly loose. I will invite you to make an Arcana check. I know it's not going to be a strong point for you.
No, it is not. All my hits are +0s, so is it 2?
2 total. Yeah, something's going on with him, but you can't tell what. And at the minute, he still looks mostly the same as what he did. But you do get a little kind of hint of something weird happening. This figure within the magic circle, however, both looks like and very firmly does not resemble a man. The true sight layers over your normal vision. It becomes stronger but does not overwhelm it entirely, and so the illusion is double clear. Here you have the resemblance of a healthy if pallid man, aristocratic, fine-skilled, well-dressed, laid over a rather horrendous figure, horned, red-skinned, winged. This, you have no doubt, is some kind of fiend. And again, I will invite roll. I'm inclined to say Arcana again, but you can pitch it if you'd like to see if you know anything about what you're looking at here.
Yeah, Arcana it is. Is it 1? Yep.
A 1 total? Yeah, okay.
That's
yeah,
just confusing.
The guy looks horrible. The guy looks fucked up. It's clear he's using an illusion. And you'd imagine if he'd shown up looking at the party like that, he might not have got in, and that's probably why he's doing it. Is not to freak everybody out. Because you feel quite calm. You have been told not to leave and to be calm yourself. And you don't necessarily see this figure as a threat.
Yeah, I don't see most things as threats, unless it's got 4 legs and wings.
Yeah. Well, this individual does have wings, but 2 legs.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. And there's still a face, still hands, still nipples.
My weapon, like my glaive, will just be down by my side, and I'll be, just looking around, going,
yeah.
Well, what you expect? This is what happens when wizards get teleportation circles up, so.
Yeah. Alistair, you feel that sense of rejection and it is chased by not only the calm from the king, the king-to-be's decree, but the touch of the Raven Queen, the comforting feeling on your shoulder, and in your sword hand. And you know things are going to be all right. You are loved, regardless.
Can I detect magic? See, like, what...
You can cast Detect Magic, yeah, absolutely,
what the
yeah.
spell is that he's cast on us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm aware that I'm being calmed, right?
You have felt the sense of calm come over you, for sure.
Yeah, I'll just...
Right, so...
He's using his Dragonborn shout. Close throat,
yeah.
uh,
And so there is a tone in the air of general enchantment.
My
Yeah.
brain is a fortress.
Yeah. Sam Jimes is wrapped in some degree of abjuration, as is the being that has been summoned to the room. He is awash with illusions, of course, but is firmly surrounded by a bright and strong abjuration.
Alright.
I would
You
like
think-
to hide
yeah.
in the shadow.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely. I'm not even going to ask for a stealth check. I know it would be ridiculous. But certainly I will say that no one is looking your way, as it is Felix.
I'm going to use message.
Yep.
And I want to message the prince and
Yep.
say, "What have you done, my child?" And I will have used this before, I'm sure.
You have cast message before, certainly, yeah. And
Yeah.
you'll see the prince glance very briefly around your eye and then hold both his hands up. Say, "My friends, see now what we have here. Our guest from beyond the cosmos. There is no need to be alarmed. None at all. We bid you welcome, sir." Gav, you still have the true sight running, don't you?
Yeah, it'll be there for 10 minutes.
I'm gonna give you a choice now. You can make another Arcana roll, or perhaps maybe a Nature roll.
To know this thing isn't natural. Well, nature plus 5 is a 2.
It's so 7 total.
Yeah.
Something's going on with the lizard folk. You've witnessed magical transformations before, but you're not ascertaining quite what's happening to it. The lizardman, despite the magical calm, is backing away from everyone else, closer to the door.
Well, he's probably scared.
Mm,
They're scarish peoples.
absolutely.
Well, I'm concerned is the one with a brain on it. Anyway.
I'll just turn so I can actually kind of get them both in my, like...
Yeah, you can move around the room.
The visitor and the lizard man.
Now, Rosalie continues. Who has questions? Who has requests, wishes, demands? What do we want? What do we want to know? What do we want, folks? What we have here is
I got a question for him. Why did he want me to break my oath to the crown?
and there's a look
Just
from around
straight
the
out
room.
with it.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Suddenly, everybody is looking at you. And
Well
the
then,
man
got your tongue.
And the man in the circle says, "I don't know what you're talking about, sir." The voice is slick like butter, but you and only you can see the greedy hunger and smugness on the devil's face, standing taller than the man before everyone else. I don't know what you're talking about. Have you been entertaining some guilty conscience? Some fatigue at your obligations in your old age, old man? Why, we've never even met before.
Well, I've came 1,000 miles to be here tonight at the prince's request. So I'd say, well,
What hope would I have, then, if you're willing to do that, of encouraging you to break an oath? You must be the prince, I assume. Everyone's listening to you. You're clearly a regal figure, capable of understanding what's going on.
he's
And
talking to Rousselet. Yeah, yes.
Rousselet then smiles and says yes. He introduces himself and begins to go around the room. Here I have my court wizard, Elizabeth, who has brought you here before us. She heard your voice whispering out there in the black, saw a little glimmer of the light you cast, and we're so glad to have you here with us. So glad to know what you have to offer us. And to find out what we can do for you. Now, give me a second. Vic, your passive's quite good, but I'm going to ask you to make a perception check for me.
Yeah. 27.
27. The Goliath that accompanied the dwarves. This creature has not spoken since you arrived, has not moved especially, except where directed. It reaches now while everyone else is distracted and pulls from its neck a leather collar. The lock around its neck, loose in a way that you could not see explained. The Goliath is moving slowly, deliberately, before it places its hand on the back of the head of the older dwarf.
I am going to shoot it in the eye.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Oh, damn.
With advantage.
Fucking lots. Features. Sorry, action at plus 14, so that's like the 29.
The arrow flies. Roll your damage, roll sneak attack.
Okay, so that is
Ed, can I ask a favour?
Yes.
6 of those.
Please let me know when we're about 10 minutes off of stopping so I can order food.
Yeah, absolutely. In which
20.
case, yeah, let's
I already know
Yeah.
what I'm getting. It's just so
a few minutes, yeah.
Do you want me to roll the second attack as well? Because my Gloomstalker first attack, I get another attack straight after.
What was your total damage for the first attack?
So the first attack, sneak attack, was 23 plus 4. Then I get my plus 7 as well. So it's 34 so far without the second of the attack bonus.
The arrow flies and finds this dwarf, this Goliath's skull. It is not dead.
And it would
Make-
be a crit as well.
It would be a crit if it was a surprise. I'm not going to call this a surprise, I'm afraid.
Okay.
You're responding to this other creature's attempt at an attack.
And
But I understand.
So then it'd be an advantage on the second, wouldn't it?
Still
hang on,
advantage on
Jet,
this.
I don't understand what's going on here. Did the Goliath move to attack the dwarf?
The Goliath has attempted to attack the dwarf.
Okay.
I don't think everyone
21?
else. Yeah,
Only Vic's seen it.
only Vic has seen it.
No, 20. Sorry. On the second row.
20 will hit.
And then
I mean, obviously,
That's-
you
that's-
notice these arrows.
That second attack does
28.
not get sneak attack. So roll the damage.
my extra D8. 3. That's 6 plus 7. 30. So that's an extra 13 points on top.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 2 arrows, before any of the rest of you have noticed, fly crack from the corner of the room.
Now I'm use my bonus action to hide again.
The dwarf, the elder dwarf who had grumbled about the honour that it was, of course, to be invited here before the prince, to be dragged here when he had important business to be taken care of, but how the past of dwarves really was what he wanted to focus on. Turns, realizes how close he was to his skull being crushed in the hands of his slave, as the Goliath behind it crumples with 2 arrows, one in its skull, the other in its neck. I'm going to give everyone a roll of initiative, just quickly.
Uh, 20.
Vic, I'm going to count that as your turn.
Mine orange.
Yeah, yours is there.
I want there. Yeah, you don't need that one.
Which ones you give?
16. I'm the
16.
white one.
Okay.
So yeah, I wanted to use the bonus action to hide again. In a row.
Okay. Sam, order your food.
Okay.
Vic, yeah, give me a stealth roll.
That's the lowest it's been at 18.
Okay. However, you have your reliable talent, so treat that as a 10.
Oh yes, yeah. So that's 25.
There you go. Okay.
Nice.
We'll see if anyone can see you when it's their turns. For Alistair, you have heard the cracking of arrows whipping through the room. You have seen this Goliath fall and quickly put together what may well have been happening. What would you like to do?
Well, I don't know. Draw my sword. Oh, I will. Blah blah blah. Where am I? I'll use. I will curse the critter if it's within 30 feet of me. The fucking devil.
Goliath. Oh, that thing.
Then the
The
Goliath
figure
died.
within the... Huh? The Goliath is falling. It is dead. It has 2
Yeah,
very well placed
will-
arrows. In.
If it's within 30 feet of me, I will use my Hexblade's curse upon the creature in the portal.
In the magic circle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can do that. Does that take your action?
No, it's a bonus
It's
action.
a bonus action, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Does that look like anything? Do you have to do anything for that?
It doesn't say. There's no components for it or anything.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
You
say.
meet the figure's eyes and feel your sword's hunger.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
No.
No, that's fine. You don't have to. You're not entirely sure what's going on. At this point, the Goliath has died, almost out of the blue.
Yeah.
Cal, however, this has surprised you slightly as to what's going on. What would you like to do, though? Is there anything you'd like to do?
Just way too many people here for my liking, so I'm just going to back up against the wall.
Yep, get your back to a wall. No one is looking at you now. The attention has been drawn away from you. There are some shocked looks on people's faces. But you can get some
I'll grab a
hard
potato,
stone.
maybe.
Yeah. Get some hard stone
They're very good.
and a table between you and some other people.
Yeah, very good.
Potato
Yes.
in front of you. The potatoes are good. They have rosemary on them. You haven't had rosemary in some time.
Yeah, it's hard to grow up the mountains.
Yep. Sam, Chimes' turn.
Tell me you have banishment.
No. What the fuck?
The thing is,
I didn't-
he's contained. So truthfully, all we need to do is dispel his look and then show everyone the truth.
Is he a monster? No, I don't know this, so I wouldn't do it.
He's a fiend.
Yeah. Is that a monster?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Tell me what you'd like to do, Sam.
I would like to cast Dispel Magic towards him, thinking that we are under some sort of charming.
You're worried that you're under. Okay.
So
Right.
I don't really care about this dude who's just died.
You've seen a giant just fall to the floor.
Yeah, I don't give a shit because this guy, I already know what this guy is.
Yeah.
As a magical person, I don't know what he is exactly, like a fiend, or whatever, but I know he's evil. So I'm going to go towards him and try and dispel magic on him.
That's got 120 foot range, so you don't need to cross the magic circle.
Okay, well, I'm just going to do
Just seeing if the circle's going to have any kind of effect on that.
Yeah, will it dispel the circle?
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and just he disappears.
So what I was thinking of is if you had purified water,
It says
you
one
used it
creature,
on
so that's
blood.
what I'm aiming for, Judge.
Yeah,
would
absolutely.
it purify the blood to water?
As GM, I'm going to say no. You cannot use purify water to turn someone's blood into water.
You can
You
see
could-
where I'm going with that. couldn't
Could
you?
cast
Yes.
polymorph on him, turn him into a water elemental. Bless that.
I have seen people use things like create and destroy water in order to just fucking dispel a water elemental. Yeah,
Bullshit.
It's in
Pretty sure
one of
that's
the
why there's
episodes of Goblin
volume
Slayer.
rules on it.
for example. Yeah,
It's one of
absolutely.
the episodes in Goblin Slayer I was watching where the woman she used purify on the water in mate's blood. So
Yeah,
it purified the goblin's blood. So he just had water in his veins. It's just fucked, isn't it? Be quite a painful
Yeah.
death, I'd have thought.
Proverbially, blood is thicker than water, and therefore it is not the same thing. This is not water that you are purifying.
Yep.
They are different substances. However,
It
I'm
contains
reading
water.
the rules for
Yes.
Dispel magic, and I'm checking against the creature's stats that we are dealing with.
Yeah, but it is not water. It's many
Yeah,
other
that's.
vermins and things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What about if you injected someone with a vial of water?
Yeah, that probably can.
Make me a charisma check, Sam.
At advantage? Because of my intellect fortress.
No, because it's not a save. That's a saving throw, right? That's advantage on
That's,
save.
yeah. It's worth asking.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what we were doing.
No, it's part of the casting.
22.
22. 22 is pretty good. Yeah. The.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, not 22. 15. Sorry,
15,
I added my save to it.
Yeah, okay.
But
15's less good. Just checking against this. God fucking damn it.
So sorry, Jed. You wanted me to do a. What is this? So, for
So
each spell,
dispel magic. The
make an
DC equals
ability
10
check.
plus. Yeah, it is an ability check using your spellcasting ability. So it's you're a charisma based caster. So it's a charisma
It's just
check.
that. Yeah, it's not
Just
spell
your
attack or
charisma.
anything.
It's just your
Yeah.
charisma bonus.
Yeah, it's a bit worded a bit
Yeah.
weirdly.
Yeah.
So I casted that at.
Yeah.
Third, was it?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just the DC is 10 plus the spell level.
My spell level or their spell? It doesn't say.
Their spell level.
Right.
So
Thank
that's
you.
that's you're dispelling the spell, and so therefore the target is the spell that you are breaking. And so yeah, the disguise lifts.
Bang. Fuck
You
and
reach
secret
forward
messages.
and the figure peels back. There is as though paper has been cast into fire. There is a stink of eggs and burnt metal powder, as though from a forge in the room. It is unpleasant for each of you.
Yeah.
But this figure now that Cal has seen, horned, scaled in places, red of flesh, hungry in the eye, stands before you and smiles.
Must admit, that wasn't what I was expecting. I'll say after the spell finishes.
Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
No, you're asking. I don't think so.
Others in the room. Some act, some brace, some recoil in fear. The dwarves gasp, fallen slave, and look down upon the collar that had been pulled from its neck. Only the young elf man leaps forward, pulls a dagger from his waist, and goes to cut at the fiend within the magic circle. He crosses the boundary of the circle. A shimmer appears around him, and he lunges forward. I'm gonna borrow your dice. Sam. Okay. He slashes with a dagger and is struck in the chest by the palm of the fiend. And the elf is flung hard against the wall. Let's roll some damage. He comes away gasping with a fistful of black hair and nothing else. He's certainly winded. And at the top of the round, the prince speaks again. He says aloud, "Very well, we must act. Elizabeth, can you show our incantations? There are... We can bind this, right? We can deal with this. We can banish it." The young wizard woman is aghast, shocked for a second. But she nods and says yes. The circle is holding. He cannot cross. He cannot harm us. So long as none of us have made a deal. And I think we'll break there.
Cool.
Can't.
I'm going to put some food in the oven.
Sorry, Jed, if I just ruined your elaborate.
No, it's fine.
This is what happens when you put high level characters in. It's
Absolutely.
just like, I'm going to do this.
Absolutely. You
It's
haven't ruined
hard.
anything.
I imagine it to be really hard to counter for every different fucking
Yeah.
abilities.
Well, the other thing I was considering is as soon as she started the ritual, was just casting counterspell. Just like,
I'll
no.
see what happens.
That might have ruined the evening. I'm not sure.
Yes, that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Just like, no, we're not doing it.
Absolutely.
No, I didn't go. I'm too old for it. That was my line.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get food. I'm back
Yeah,
with you.
absolutely. I'm going to leave the table up, but I'll catch you fellas in a little bit.
Yep.
I'm gonna make a
I'm too
burger or
old for
something.
this shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. How are you feeling, Gex? You present?
Yeah, alright, I'm gonna make a burger and a coffee.
Yeah, okay. All right. Wanted to check on you.
Lots of caffeine and grease.
Yep.
I hope, Jed, you could see my logic.